Check one, check two. Welcome, world. Welcome, everybody in this wonderful world. We're live. We're alive. We are live and alive. No doubt about it. The date is November 8 in the year 2023. There's a war in Israel. There's a war right here at home. A war against speaking openly. Speaking honestly. No speech, no speech, no speech. Any speech is bad speech, we're told. Stop your speech already. Cut it out. Hey, you over there. Hey, you over there speaking. Stop it. It offends me. Good morning, everybody. Mark Sconti reporting. Ba-boom. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the program. How you doing, man? Shut this off. Thank you. Thank you, Conte. And yeah, we're live. How are you, man? Welcome to the program. Mark Sconti reporting. So we have, if you've ever had an ambition of becoming a congressman or woman, whatever you might be, congressperson, and you go there to speak openly, go to the podium and speak about stuff, right? And there is no such thing as hate speech in America. It doesn't exist. The Supreme Court and all the brilliant minds of our time have determined that speech is speech is speech. However, when it comes to criticizing the Jew in Israel, for example, then we have a problem. Now, the other day, I guess Monday, today is Wednesday, on Monday, this program was censored for a video called proof. I said proof that that Israel was responsible for the bombing of a hospital in Gaza. And I gave you my opinion. I gave you my proof, right? You can take it with a grain of salt, but I gave you my proof. I don't know why I'm getting a warning here. I'm getting a warning. Streams current bit rate is low. It was bullshit, total bullshit, right? But I gave you that video the other day, and that video got the channel struck, right, for a week. No publishing on the channel for speaking, right? Right on an election day, right? So is that coincidental? They want to say it was medical. YouTube is standing on the notion that I did something that was medically inappropriate, which is ridiculous, right? Medical misinformation, right? But the real story is that I was speaking openly and honestly about some evidence against the Israeli government and proving, I guess I'm over the target. I guess I was very much over the target with that one. But I'm nobody, right? I'm just a little guy, and they can push me around all they want, right? But Rashida Tlaib is a sitting congresswoman, and she said kind of sort of the same things. She was defending her heritage, her Palestinian heritage, saying that the situation there is long-standing. There's a lot of guilt on both sides. The Israelis have occupied and pushed and buggered and bullied the Palestinian people for now almost a whole century, since the wars of the 1940s and 50s. William R. Hall says they took down my art show. I'm sorry about that. Hey, William, the video is still up. You can watch it on BitChute and Rumble. We'll do it again. No worries, man, William. That was now I know what you do, and just keep sending me your stuff, and we'll definitely continue with that. It's not a one-time thing, man. You're a friend of the program, man. I'm not a fair-weathered friend, right? I like your stuff too. I like the idea that you're doing photo realism or not photorealism, but photo shoppingism, and that's cool too. So anyway, so yeah, we're gonna talk about that story. We'll watch the spin. That's my video. That's my thumbnail today. There is the one, the only Rashida Tlaib, the congresswoman who you can love her or hate her. She has a right to speech. She has a right to speak. She's a sitting congresswoman. They censored her. Congress has officially censored the good Congresswoman. What does that mean? Really nothing. She can, she goes on and does business as usual, but it's a firm something or other that says we, Congress, censor you because we disagree with your speech. Is that even American? Right? How do you censor someone for actions that are offensive, like things that are actually bad, like stealing and killing and robbing and right, lying outright, right, fraud, but to, well, yeah, like for example, the guy that lied about his resume, right, fucking Santos over there, right? How come he didn't get kicked out? But Rashida Tlaib, for mentioning the Palestinians have a right to be, and pointing out that they have a right also to obtain all of Israel. What is Israel, right? That's in the American books as well. You remember the term, educational history remembrance, but there's a term called manifest destiny, and it used to be taught in schools as a way to show us all that in the 1800s, the Americans wanted to expand their reign of control, not just from the East Coast, New York, Virginia, and such, the original colonies, but all the way to California. In fact, all the way down to the tip of Antarctica, and all the way up to the top of Canada. The belief of the time was that it was God's choice to have us do this, right? The manifest destiny of our people. And Rashida Tlaib is not saying anything really different. And certainly the Jew in Israel is saying the same thing. They're all saying the same thing. Right? But why is Rashida Tlaib not allowed to say it? Because we have a pro-Israel, pro-Jew Congress, right, that only sees Israel and Jew and refuses to see Palestine and the Palestinian people. People that were there before the fact, right? I'm not an anti-Semite, right? So the jerk-offs watching that might say that. Say, Conti, you're so fucking anti-Semitic, man. You hate Jews. It's not true. I think Jews are some of the funniest, coolest people in the world. Right here in America, they're funny. Hasidic Jews are some of my favorite people in the whole world. More so than the other people I love, because they're true, right? And very few Hasids will say that Israel is right in trying to exterminate the Palestinian people. Very few Hasids will say that. It's more of a Zionist kind of a newfangled American Jew, Israeli Jew saying it. So anyway, we're threading on thin water. Is this speech allowed? Is YouTube going to say? I'm not going to talk about medicine today. I'm not going to talk about any malpractice, any vaccination status, or any of that stuff today. Right? So come at me. If you're going to come at me, you're gonna. What are you going to do? Say I talked favorably about Palestine. Right? No one here is advocating terrorism at all. What we're advocating is the stopping of the violence, the stopping of the extermination, the stopping of the threats that we will kill all of you unless you do something right now. Cutting off water into Gaza, cutting off food supply, cutting off power, right? Creating an open-air concentration camp, an occupation. That's what we're pointing to. Stop doing that. Stop doing that, and then we'll stop talking about it. So I have a website. As I said, if we're ever lost or confused, just come to marcusconti.com, and I'll tell you where we are. Right now, we're broadcasting live on YouTube, too. If that lasts, whoop-de-fucking-do. If not, we'll be over at Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, DLive, Facebook, Twitter, Getter. Somewhere we'll surface. I mean, look, I don't know why YouTube is now from out of nowhere censoring people. It made sense yesterday because there was an election going on. Shut that guy up, man. Shut those people up. But whatever, man. That's what we deal with. This is what censorship looks like. It's frustrating. It's annoying. It's counterintuitive, right? There's no reason for it, right? Nothing I'm saying is going to hurt anybody. In fact, what I say will probably open a couple of eyeballs. If you don't like what I'm saying, then most people that don't like what someone like me is saying will not listen. They'll go somewhere else. So there's no harm in speech. That's the point. Right? Just because you don't like it doesn't make it censorable. Right? But that's where we are right now. Those are the times. So let's start here. I'm happy to see this because look at this. This is a white guy, 56 years old, white guy. And People magazine, this is racist, man. Patrick Dempsey named People magazine's sexiest man alive. Wow, look at that, man. So this is what it is, people of America and the world. This right here, this guy, in the eyes of the American press or whoever else, is the sexiest man alive. What has he got? Perfect teeth, but it looks like little light eyes, some gray hair. 56-year-old man is the sexiest guy alive. I don't know about that. I don't know. 56. I would say isn't like 30. I don't know. I'm not a man lover. I'm a man, and so I wouldn't really. I know he's a good-looking, probably very sharp, articulate, wealthy, successful. Maybe I don't know, but on face value, is this the sexiest man alive? And I think of sexy. I think of. I don't know. I would say more. I don't know. More physical. Like I don't know. But here he is, 57 years old. His name is Patrick Dempsey. Sexiest man alive, 2023. It was announced by the publication. Who really cares? Who reads these things anyway? People magazine. I haven't seen that thing in fucking 30 years. The 57-year-old star. 57. 57 years old. There he is in a suit. Just scruff. Makes me feel good, right? See, I thought I was over the hill, right? I'm 50. I'm his age almost. A little further, actually. And I don't know. I guess I'm pretty goddamn sexy. Next time I'm thinking about, I'm feeling sorry for myself because my fucking teeth fell out or I got a cold. I'll remember that Jack Dempsey, is that his name, Jack? Patrick. Patrick Dempsey is the sexiest man alive. Look at that piece of ass he's got. Look at that woman, man. Look at that. He is a hot. He's got a hot mama. Hot mama. Here he is in his tuxedo and his very expensive car. What if he was crunched over with a needle hanging out of his arm, slumped? Would he be sexy? He's sexy because of the clothes, because of the money, because of the arm candy. Right? What makes him sexy? Same old tuxedo like every other man wears. Sort of formal. You got to dress formal. Put your tuxedo on. Put on your uniform. And we're gonna look at the markets too. Market looks like it looks favorable this morning, going up a little bit. Big day yesterday. Market's definitely advancing. I don't know. Let's see if it holds. Right. So sexiest man alive. Congratulations. Spend it well. So let's jump right into the story. House censors Rep. Rashida Tlaib over defense of Hamas. Calls to destroy Israel. Now, she did not call to destroy Israel, New York Post. That is not what she said. She said that Palestine has a right to expand just like any other nation has a right to expand from sea to shining sea. And the Jew interpret that as, well, if they try to expand from sea to shining sea, that means they're going to try to kill us. That's not what they mean. That's what you're doing to them. That's your manifest destiny, where you see no option with the Palestinian people. So let's just look at the story. House of Representatives voted Tuesday night, it's official, to censor Representative Rashida Tlaib for defending Hamas's October 7 terror attack against Israel as resistance and calling for the destruction of the Jewish state. Well, I have not seen anything that calls for the destruction of the Jewish state. She did say it is resistance. I would agree there. Tlaib is the 26th member of Congress to be censored by the House in the legislative bodies. It's censoring, right? That's what we do now. Congress, we censor you. We don't like what you're saying. Fuck you. Get up against the wall, and we're gonna publicly condemn you. There's no other consequence to it other than you get a scolding for it. You get scolded by your peers, as if it really matters. You don't lose any immediate face. Well, you might later, right? Rashida is going to have a hard time going forward because she spoke. She spoke openly. Right? So the censor vote, initially scheduled for Wednesday, was apparently moved up because Rich McCormick said he received death threats. So we got to do this fast. So it passed the resolution to censor Ms. Tlaib was passed 234 to 188. It's a pretty big deal. That's a pretty big deal. There she is screaming into the microphone. I got one of those mics. It's the same mic I have. It's a similar mic. It's a SM Shure. I love Shure mic. She's screaming into her Shure SM58. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she was very happy because she's a pro-Jew and hates the Arabs. Right? This is what she said. Right? This is what she said. This is what she was censored for saying. From the river to the sea is an inspirational call for freedom, aspirational call for freedom, human rights, and peaceful coexistence, not death, destruction, or hate. My work in advocacy is always centered in justice and dignity for all people, no matter faith or ethnicity. Right? That's what she said. That's what she said right there. Right? From river to sea. All right. So remember that line. That's the line that they hopped on to say, what do you mean if you want to, we're in the middle of that. The Jew says, we're in the middle of the river and the sea. What do you want to do? Take away our river and our sea? And right. Freedom. She's calling for freedom, human rights, and peaceful coexistence. A move by Democrat lawmakers to kill the resolution against the squad failed. So some dirty Democrats tried to save it. The resolution notes Tlaib's false narratives, quote, around the October 7 attack in which jihadists slaughtered 1,400 civilians. That's very true. They did. Jihadists, Palestinian jihadists, killed innocent people, 1,400. What is the death toll in Palestine? How many Palestinians have been slaughtered or fucking blown up in Gaza and the West Bank since the 1950s? Thousands, tens of thousands, right? Tens of thousands. Most recently, the resolution mentions Tlaib's post on X. What is the post on X? I didn't see that. I didn't see it. Let's watch it pop open. Including the first portion of the phrase, oh yeah, from river to shining sea. That's all she said. That's what we're talking about? It looks like they jammed it. It's not even there. New York Post has it though, but here it is. Here it is. It's that's the one. Right? From the river to the sea is an aspirational call for freedom. Right? That's all she said. That's all she said. Right? Tlaib responds by saying the phrase is an aspirational call for freedom, human rights. Where's that? Where is it? I don't know why it's not popping open. Are we even live? Are we even here? Am I allowed to speak? Are we speaking? Is it happening? I guess it is. Mad Cal Mark says, that's what you think she wants you to say. I sympathize with Tlaib because she's of Palestinian descent. Her parents, they know the atrocity there. They know what it means to live under a very aggressive, politically driven occupation of their territory, and they know what it's like to be very poor and be extremely overpowered by a very, very sophisticated military body, the Israelis. Right? So she knows what she's talking about. You have to sympathize. 70 House Democrats signed onto the statement. Whatever. Hamas. We support Israel's right and obligation to defend itself. to protect its citizens, secure its borders, and rescue its people held hostage in Gaza. Israel also has the obligation to, as best as possible, protect civilians. Right. Okay. Right. This is just jargon. This is bullshit, right? Sitting Congresswoman was censored. That's the story here. The resolution is about one thing and one thing only: the punishment of speech. Hey, oh wow, says Raskin. We don't punish people for their political ideas, no matter how wrong-headed or offensive we think they are. The punishment of political viewpoints will mean members will be censored just for being in the minority rather than in the majority. That's correct. You're not allowed. No. This is America where you fall in line behind the Jew. Tlaib defended her statement. Hey, Jew, if you're watching, really, I mean, come on, man. You can't see this for what it is. You're going to tell me that Israel isn't responsible for terrorizing the fucking neighbor next door? Terrorizing their fucking neighbors. And then the neighbor finally says, all right, enough. And a couple of radicals, fucking kill a couple of your people for a change. It's good. It's been going on for a long time. Prior to that, it was even as far back as Jimmy Carter, who proposed a two-state solution, right, all the way back to the 80s. Two states, right, two independent states side by side, split the shit up. Right? But Israel doesn't want that. They're not having it. Tlaib says, I will not be silenced, and I will not let you distort my words, she says. Let's listen to some of the spin. So the other day, on Monday, I had said that the hospital in Gaza, the explosion, we were investigating the explosion, and the Sun is now swallowing hook, line, and sinker the idea that it could not have been Israel because the rocket was shot from Gaza. But nobody sees the rocket fall. It's fucking crazy.
Agency and carried out extensive.
I really don't want to listen to this guy. They're finding more. Israel Army is finding more tunnels. This time under an amusement park. Look at this. Look at this report. Yeah. So Israel wants you to know that when they bomb when they're dropping bombs on the heads of people at an amusement park, that they're doing it for good reason, because under there is a tunnel for terrorists to move back and forth and escape the bombs that are falling on their head. So you look down the ditch, and we're told to believe that is an escape pod for the criminals, and that's why we're bombing them. Right? That's why there's motive. That's all I was trying to say the other day. You look for the motive. Why are you going to blow up this spot? Because you know that there's underground tunnels. And who would want to do that? Israel. Hamas doesn't want to blow up their own tunnels or reveal their own tunnels. Israel wants to do that. Right? Because it's a war, and you want to blow up the other guy. Right? It's just common sense, for Christ's sake. Right? What is this guy talking about?
Coverage of the hospital explosion that grabbed headlines around the world.
Yeah. Lethal explosion. Lethal. All right. Here's the carnage of the explosion at the hospital, mostly in a parking lot. They're trying to say a stray bomb did it. A stray Hamas jihadist bomb.
On the night of the explosion, Storyful.
Nobody knows for sure, but when they report it, they're 100% sure that it was a jihadist missile fired against their own hospital, or a malfunctioning rocket. Right.
Race to cover the events as they happened. Videos from Al Jazeera's live feeds on the night showed what appeared to be a failed rocket falling near the site of the hospital and the resulting fire. However, Storyful could not confirm this rocket was the cause of the blast.
So nobody can confirm. They're looking at the rockets in the sky, and then there's an explosion on the ground, and we're expected to believe that this floating beam of ball of fire in the sky eventually equates to blowing up the hospital, which even if I saw a video at this point, a direct video of it, I wouldn't believe it. I would think it would. I would think it would be doctored. The fact that a rocket fires from Gaza and lands on a hospital, that doesn't necessarily mean that the Palestinian people did it. It means someone shot a rocket inside of Gaza and the thing fucked up. That's the story there. It doesn't confirm anything. It doesn't confirm that Hamas did it.
Rule out a separate cause. Storyful's initial analysis found the trail of a rocket could be seen as it fired in the night sky northwards towards the Israel border. The rocket flares in the sky and breaks apart before falling to the ground. 2 explosions are visible afterwards. One is some distance from the hospital. The other was confirmed by Storyful as at the Al Ali Arab Hospital. In its aerial video of the aftermath of the blast and fire, the IDF argued the damage seen indicated it could not have been responsible.
All right, so Israel is releasing massive evidence that says the other guy did it. Right? I don't know. I just don't believe it. Whether you believe it or not, but that's not really the story. That's part of the fog of war that Rashida Tlaib is talking about. The very, very sophisticated, cunning Israeli force that is, creating these fucking false flags, if they are.
The gentleman for yielding.
Here's some congressman in his name is Max Miller explodes over Rashid's statements. A Jew.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today at what I think is a very serious moment for our country and for the world. Hate and anti-Semitism are on the rise.
Okay, where? Where is hate and anti-Semitism on the rise? You're hating on her. You're censoring her. That's hate, in my view. If you didn't hate her, you just let her speak and let her, exhaust herself.
Our strongest ally and great friend Israel is under siege at the hands of brutal terrorists.
Brutal.
And a member of the United States Marines House of Representatives echoing a line is clear to call murder Jews and push Israel off the map from the river to the sea. To be clear, from the river to the sea, as someone who's Jewish, means to exterminate my people.
Okay, let's look at that. Let's listen to that again.
To exterminate my people. Clear, from the river to the sea, as someone who's Jewish.
From the river to the sea, for someone who is Jewish, means
to exterminate my people.
To exterminate my people. That's what she said. From the river to the sea, right? What is that? What is that? That's manifest destiny, right? Remember, I'll give you, let's just listen a little more.
Never again.
Never again. All right, so from the river to the sea, you remember back in the 1800s, history lesson, History 101, 1845, manifest destiny, a phrase is coined in 1845. It's the idea that the United States is destined by God to expand its domain and spread democracy and capitalism across the entire North American continent. The entire North American continent. So here's a bunch of strangers popping up. Got all these indigenous people. You've got Indians. You got Eskimos. You got Chinese. You got whoever else was here, right? All the tribes of Mexico. Everybody was here, and then the white guy from Europe pops up and says, no, 1885. By the time 1885 rolled around, 1845 rolled around, they said, no, fuck you, everybody out. It's our domain, right? It is destined by God Himself, right? So manifest destiny. Do you remember, young man? Can you remember that notion of manifest destiny in your own country, which you have to defend because you're an American?
As someone who's Jewish, means to exterminate my people. To the sea. To be clear, to call murder Jews and push Israel off the map from the river to the sea. To be clear, from the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea, right? Manifest destiny.
As someone who's Jewish, means to exterminate my people. Never again. Mr. Speaker, the ADL recently reported that anti-Semitic incidents rose by roughly 400% in the 2 weeks following Hamas's evil attack on Israel, which began 1 month ago today. There is no question that these incidents are a direct result of the hate-filled lies and anti-Semitic rhetoric perpetuated by members of this body. From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
What exactly does that mean, from the river to the sea? Palestine
I'll explain to you. It's manifest destiny. From the river to the sea.
will be free. I'm happy to educate all of you. It means the extermination of the Jewish people.
No, it doesn't, you jerk off. It doesn't. It's your own paranoia. You see the problem here? You're interpreting something that is not accurate. Because you're pro-Jew and you think that, that you have a deep hatred for the Muslim people that live there. You see it as an extermination of your people. Only you see that. Right? But you're standing in the halls of Congress saying that everybody else should see it too. And if they don't, that makes them anti-Semitic.
Educate all of you. It means the extermination of the Jewish people. I understand that my colleague, the gentlelady from Michigan, thinks that this is some kind of aspirational message.
Yeah.
It's a joke. Mr. Speaker, I do think.
That's right. So these are opinions, by the way. I don't condemn the guy for his opinion. Look, he's got a Star of David on. He's got his Jew star on. He could say whatever he wants. Who cares, right? But you're censoring. Why are you pointing your vitriol at a woman who is sympathetic to the plight of her people?
That this is an aspirational message, but it's not an aspiration for peaceful coexistence.
Yes, it is.
It's an aspiration to erasure the state of Israel and its people, the Jewish people who call it home.
It's just not true. That's not what she said. Right? That's not what she said. Let's look back at what she said, and you can see how the spin changes. From the river to the sea is an aspirational call for freedom, human rights, and peaceful coexistence, not death, destruction, or hate. My work in advocacy is always centered in justice. All right, so that's what she said, right? I don't know what this guy's looking at.
Who've been refugees since the very beginning of time. It is an aspiration to the genocide of Jews. Mr. Speaker, I believe strongly that...
So he sees a genocide of Jew. He sees a genocide of the Jew, right? A genocide.
It is an aspiration to the genocide of Jews. Mr. Speaker, I believe strongly that...
Is this guy overreacting? Is this guy out of his fucking mind saying shit like this? Right on the... you got these two crackers behind him nodding. Yeah.
Members of this body should be able to speak their minds freely, but I also think there should be consequences for those who use their platforms to perpetuate garbage that puts any American at risk, especially because of their religion. Mr. Speaker, I believe that actions have consequences, and I believe...
What American was put at risk here at home, right? When you step foot in Israel, that's a different story. Do you want to get on a plane and you want to go live like an Israeli, then you're bound by their laws. No Jews are getting slaughtered in America, so shut your hole already, right? You're fucking overreacting, man.
I believe that after a long string of anti-Semitic...
Little Jewish boy, Max Miller. Ooh, Max Miller.
...remarks and hate-filled rhetoric...
Max Miller, the Jew.
Censure
Hey, where's your yarmulke?
...an appropriate consequence for the gentlelady from Michigan.
Gentleman's time is expired.
All right, so thank you very much. And we gave him a history lesson, manifest destiny, we know it. Let's see this guy's thing.
Ms. Tlaib doubled and tripled down on that. That was false and that was a lie.
Mm-hmm.
And then repeating and celebrating a genocidal chant from the river to the sea. That's not a
genocidal chant. They're all repeating this one. The genocidal chant, the manifest destiny of the Palestinian people. How dare you, Rashida Tlaib? How dare you?
Cartoon, and that's not saying some things that you
How
said.
dare you speak those words? How dare you use your speech to speak such horrible words of peace and coexistence and harmony?
Before you were a member of Congress. And then we were accused of, it's Islamophobic, or pointed out that she was a woman of color, or she's the only Palestinian. What does any of that matter? This is about words and actions, and we hold everyone to the same standard. We're not trying to jail her. We're not trying to expel her.
You're not trying to jail her or expel her, but what are you trying to do? You're trying to push her out of the discourse. That's what you're doing, which leads to, which is even more deceptive, right? You're trying to push people out of the ability to be where people can hear them speak. That's what you want to do, right? Push her out.
levering a
Censor her. That's what censorship is. It's to shut people up.
civil fine. We're not even talking about removing her from committees. We're simply firmly and formally disagreeing with her and chastising her for her words
If you formally disagree with her, just ignore her, you idiot.
and her actions. What she did was not leadership. It was demagoguery of the worst kind, and it was beneath the dignity of this office, her office, and the alleged commitment to peace.
So that's how we do it here in America. If you should question an election in America, for example, on January 6th, and you show up at the Capitol ready to rally and ready to talk and ready to push your way into Congress and tell them, speak your mind, right? For that, you get thrown in jail, right? You get thrown in jail for shit like that. And to speak as a congresswoman, to suggest from river to sea is hidden code for extermination of the Jew. That's what we're talking about here, right? That this is it's paranoia par excellence, really.
With respect to the gentleman from Maryland, I understand the perspectives with respect to free speech, and I certainly wish to always stand aside the protection of free speech in this country.
Yeah.
But this goes well beyond that, because
Okay, it goes beyond free speech. What else did she do besides speak? What else did she do, Mr. Baldhead, Mr. fucking? What else did she do? Let's find out.
we're not talking about restraining the gentleladies from Michigan's ability to speak.
Really? You just censored her. That's what you're doing. You censored her.
As an American citizen, we're not talking about punishing her, putting her in jail. What we're talking about is whether a member of the United States House of Representatives, whether a member of this body
Yeah.
representing this nation is justified in putting forward a defense of the actions of Hamas terrorists.
Nobody did that. All she did was speak a little bit. No one is formulating this conspiracy but you. You're the one whipping the conspiracy, Mr. Congressman.
That murdered innocent Israeli citizens is holding United States citizens and Israelis hostage, and in her own language was defending on October 8th, a mere 24 hours into the brutal and barbaric attacks in which babies were beheaded.
Yeah.
Babies were placed
Yes.
into ovens, literally. Moms were raped in a house while their babies were put in an oven. A documented account, video evidence. And this is dismissed as resistance to an apartheid state.
Where was the word resistance? I didn't see any of that. All I saw was her idea that the Palestinian people have a right to manifest destiny. That's all I saw.
My problem is that the gentlelady is also referring to, quote, Joe Biden supporting the genocide of the Palestinian people.
He is, isn't he? When you donate tons and tons of money and arms to Israel, you are supporting the extermination of the Palestinian people. Joe Biden's actions are far more devastating and real and criminal than anything Rashida Tlaib said about manifest destiny of her people. It's far. I mean, Biden is upping money, giving money to one side to kill the other side. That's fucked up, right? That's like the third man in a fight, right? Your guy's already beaten up the other guy, and then you step in and hand the guy who's winning a hammer, right, and a machete, right? And the guy who's losing, he can't even defend himself. All he's got is his wallet, right? He's trying to defend himself with his wallet.
The lady has put forward that by virtue of the United States of America funding in solidarity the people of Israel in defense of their right to exist, that by virtue of our position as Americans standing in front of that flag in this chamber representing 330 million Americans, that by funding and supporting Israel,
Right.
we are somehow perpetuating the call for violence that we saw unfold right before our eyes.
100% you are. That's 100%, Mr. Congressman, respectfully. 100%. When you fund one side of a war against the other side, you are doing exactly what you just said. You are perpetrating the violence, right, by doing that. Why don't you stop funding anybody and see what happens? Right? Let them coexist already. Right? Stop funding one side of it. Right? There's the violence, the money.
On October 7th, in the most brutal and heinous acts that some of us.
And there's Chip Roy, as David Brown points out. Now Chip Roy is defending Biden. Right? They don't even know what side they're on yet. Whoever gives them, they don't know what side they're on of anything anymore. It's just whatever is politically expedient at the moment. Right? Fucking no. Censorship and free speech. Right? Free speech good, censorship bad. All the Republicans said. Now Rashida Tlaib is getting censored for talking about rivers and seas and peaceful coexistence, for Christ's sake.
Have ever seen.
All right, so I think you get the point. I'm done with those guys. So Matt, oh shit, Nasdaq is up. Ding, we're open. The markets are open, and yay, we're open. It looks like the markets are up a little bit. Nasdaq is trying to make a move up. Definitely trying to make a move up. What do we got? Nvidia is up 3.92. Google up 24 cents. Apple up $1. Amazon down 45 cents. Meta, formerly Facebook, down 29 cents. Tesla down 58. It's kind of flat right now, but look at the latest run look at the last few days of the Nasdaq. Look at his run from the bottom. Wow. All right, that shit took off. All right, let's get this out of the way. Get this shit out of the way. All right, you can see how the markets have been really, really getting excited over something, and so there you go. There you go. The markets are up. Rivian just got some good news. That the news on Rivian, RIVN, $17.95 a share, was that they no longer are going to hold an exclusive with Amazon, meaning that right now they only sell their vehicles to Amazon, and they've declared that their vehicles are now for sale to anybody, which is really good. It's not like you're throwing Amazon under the bus. You're now you're allowing other customers in the door to buy your shit. How's the war doing? How's the war stocks? Lockheed Martin down 250. Raytheon down 3 cents. Boeing down 17. The holiest of holy vaccines. Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, mixed right now. Nothing really moving big and bad right now. But today is Wednesday. I believe at the close we're going to get, or maybe about 2 o'clock, Jerome Powell is going to speak on the economy. It doesn't look like they're going to jack up the interest rate this time. So that's good. It's stable. It depends on what he says about inflation. What Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, says regarding inflation is going to have a bit of an impact. If he says, yes, inflation is still out of control, that means there's another interest rate hike or two. Maybe not right away, but down the road, right? They're not taking it off the table. So there you go. Thank you all for joining me, and hope that was clear. You know, look, it's a crazy thing about speech. Right? We should all have tolerance for people who speak. Right? If you don't like the speech, you go somewhere else. That's all it is. Right? Don't get all worked up in a frenzy. Right? What Rashida Tlaib said and did is not very, very far off than. In fact, it's incredibly watered down to what most Palestinians in Gaza are saying is happening. It's beyond occupation. It's now concentration camp. They're starving them and blowing them up and terrorizing them. Right? That's happening. Right? That's inescapable. And for Rashida Tlaib to point that out as a sitting congresswoman is necessary. Right? You don't have to agree with her. You don't have to agree with her. You just have to let her speak. Right? And stop lining up and opening your trap about that what she's saying. You need a Jew to translate river to sea, right? That's code word for exterminating the Jew. No, it's not. It's not. I don't see it, and nobody else sees it, except you, Jew, except the Jew. Thank you all for joining me. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and be well, be well, be well. Do, do, do.